What's up, y'all? It's Blue. I'm back. I'm streaming a little bit. Probably just a little quickie. I don't have a ton of time. But tracking a little bit on the market. And we're going to see what happens here, guys. I just punched in, this is actually kind of a little hedge long to a little bit larger of a short from 88.546. And I'll kind of explain my thinking on this right now. So I was actually I was actually short from closer to here, and I got stopped out once and came back down, and I just re-entered it. But let's back it out a little bit to like a kind of 15-minute view a little bit here, and then we'll keep backing out and backing out. Let's pump it to a 30. Essentially, all of this price action right here is all just within the same range. So what I'm betting on, my overall thesis, essentially on this lower time frame view, is that we're going to come lower and hit this much larger pocket of liquidity on 8-hour, 4-hour type of view, where we still have this imbalance down here and this level of liquidity that I'm kind of more so betting on for potentially a bigger long. We could potentially see some type of reversal right here. And that's kind of what I'm playing into on these lower time frames. Now, if this fails, then, there's potential to be coming, much lower there. But essentially what I'm playing into on these lower time frames is I would like to see this short kind of play out and come through this range and trade all the way through this range. I would take profit here, but with some, at least playing at the moment, to long from here. But I'm looking just for some continuation from these downtrending ranges, right? We came up, swept this high, and now we've started creating lower highs, lower lows on these lower time frames. Now, if we look at this here, guys, we're still within this range within an uptrend, right? Where we came from lower lows and lower highs to now forming higher lows and higher highs. And you may say this is a lower low than this. This was a sweep right here. We didn't have any closure below this low right here. Do y'all see that? So we had swept right there. So we're still maintaining higher highs and higher lows within this range, which I kind of see, right? Like if this area breaks down, then we're coming to here, and that's not quite a good look. So this hedge long right here is just kind of playing into that. And I'll show you, let's pump it back out to a 15 real quick. 10. So we had this 10-minute slight imbalance here, and as we know, even this small imbalance will get filled, and you can see there's a very nice reaction off that. Just that tiny little imbalance into this liquidity pocket or into this demand level. This had a nice reaction off of it. This reaction off this level is what created or changed the character or changed the dynamic, right? From lower lows, lower highs into now higher high with a closure above the high that sent this low down. Okay, so came up, broke this level, not here. I didn't count it here. I wouldn't, if this was right here and we only got this, I would not have taken this long. Okay, but we came up here and got this closure above our high right here. And now we've potentially switched back into, at least on this lower time frame, 10, 5-minute kind of look, back into higher highs and higher lows. So I took a confirmation hedge long. Again, what is a confirmation hedge long? I didn't just fire off a limit order right when it came into this demand level or this liquidity pocket. okay? Because there's no telling if we just trade straight through this, maybe we come down into here, okay? So what we do is we take this confirmation, right? Where we come down, we hit this level, and then we look for this change in market structure, change of character, whatever you want to call it, where we've now switched into higher highs and higher lows. Once I got this confirmation right here of these candles closing above that high, that is when I now looked for the next imbalance. Okay, where can I get in off this confirmation that we are now potentially confirming higher highs and higher lows? Imbalance, demand level. There's no further imbalance below this. This is the only imbalance right here. Okay, put my level right here, stop loss below the low, and now I'm hedge long, taking this back up, potentially, potentially coming back in. And what I'm kind of planning for is to just come back in and refill some of these imbalances back up here, which is potentially just another short entry. However, I can potentially now hold this to trade through this level, should say this range now break up where this isn't a sweep, okay, and this turns into higher highs and higher lows right here, okay? We drop down, higher highs and higher lows, and we actually just come and trade through this range. There's a possibility there, okay? But as of now, this long is kind of still in its infancy stages, and we're gonna see what happens. This short isn't necessarily off and running quite yet either, right? In the grand scheme of things, at least on these lower time frames, we're still just meandering around in the top of this range right here, right? We still have imbalance levels down here within the range that have yet to been filled, okay? So that's what I'm kind of looking at here, at least on Bitcoin in the short term. I would like to see price come back down into here, where I would like a little bit more of a higher time frame long, a little bit of position that, you know, would take holding a little bit longer. But I would expect a better reaction for buying, because right here, okay, buying off this level. Okay, if we zoom it out, there's no reason for a reaction. Dang it, this dang brush. There's no reason for a reaction of buying right here, right? That's essentially pre-buying to this level. Even if we change around the time frames here, guys, it's really only showing on the 4 hour for having this imbalance. Okay, even down here, the 2 hours even lower. Let's go to a 3 hour. Same thing, just, you know, slightly higher. Did it hit that? Did it hit that? Did it hit that? It did not hit that. It did not hit that. So we still have a gap down here, even if we're looking at a 3 hour. You take it down to a 1 hour, let's just say for S's and giggles. Yeah, and we're looking at the, well, shoot, look at this. What is this? Did it hit this? It did not. So we still have that gap. And just like we said on that long, right, where just you saw these little bit of gaps, come down and fill those in. That's essentially what I'm looking at here on Bitcoin. Let me get this back to where I like it. So yeah, looking to take a short lower into some higher time frame liquidity demand outside of this range. However, there is a hedge long opportunity, and now it's kind of starting to take off a little bit here. And we'll see what happens. If price comes back up here, I'll just keep holding it. At least partial of it. I call it like travel insurance, right? I'll come up here, I'll take some profits on it. But this long will now be my travel insurance, right? My main travel plans is to go lower. However, I'm going to purchase insurance on that travel plan in case my vacation doesn't go as planned. All right? In case, you know, some unforeseen long storms hit, right? My main plan is this short. I found a position to hedge long, a good spot to hedge long within internal price action. Okay? Within this internal price action of this larger range, internal price action, I found a good spot to hedge long. Okay? And my main plan is to come lower But if my main plan doesn't go as planned, I have this insurance to take me through this level. I'm not going to hold the whole thing. I'll take some profits, but that the remainder will cover this stop loss, right? And if it, we come up here in reverse, then okay, then I have my short to continue this lower. Let's pause on Bitcoin. I'm also tracking hype right now, and it's in a similar position. I got stopped on a short up here off of these wicks on hype. I nailed a couple longs that I should have held way longer, obviously. I kind of saw them as continuation longs, and I messed these up. I should have just trailed my stop losses on this instead of taking a hard level of profit. Live and learn on those ones. But I nailed both of those. And now I'm long on hype here. I have not reshorted hype. I'm looking at this level right here to potentially reshort hype. It's coming in there pretty quickly. Yeah. I think I'm going to give that a go. I'm long on hype from right here. From, give you the exact number, 27.5. No, sorry, 27.319. Yeah, 27.319. And this is actually a good spot to maybe take a little something off of it. But we're going to let her ride. We're going to let her ride. We're going to let her ride. But yeah, so I'm tracking hype as well. And let's bust hype out to a 4-hour. I'm essentially looking at this like parabolic move within this kind of trading range. And my thinking is like, man, before we break out of here and like see continuation, a lot of this needs to kind of get filled. It doesn't have to. I mean, it's not a requirement. But, before price continues coming up here, man, it would be a travesty to just leave this all behind. Because this is just going to be, magnet if price keeps going up. So I would like to see some of this refilled down here. How low that can go, I don't know. We'll see. If I were to short it, I would take some profits right around this kind of transition point right here. This parabolic move is kind of hard to read. The whole thing is just a big old imbalance essentially. But we'll see here. The reasoning for this. Let's go to a 10. Yeah, now that I'm looking at this, man, I would really like this low. What I'm talking about, guys, what I'm looking at is I would really like this low right here to have been closed below. Now that I'm kind of really looking into this as far as the short. Yeah, I mean, this low was taken. Man, it's not that great. It could be worth it. It could be worth it. I mean, this is the very top of the range. This is the very top of the range. Barring another sweep up here. Oh, wow. Look at these double highs. Ah, gosh. I'm kind of starting to second guess myself on that short now. Oof. And there's this level right here. Yeah, guys, I might be second guessing myself on this short now that I'm really diving into this. Man, these equal highs right here. Y'all see that? These are no bueno. These are no bueno. These are just like asking to be swept and come into another level of supply right here before, and that would be before this thing really took off, right? Like we were just talking about, it would be a travesty for this to really get going out of here and leave this behind. It would have to come back and take care of that at some point. But I could very easily see a sweep of this high, which is going to trigger breakout traders, buy orders, heavy buying. If you see this breakout, right, all these people are FOMOing into this thing. They're seeing this thing, see it break out of here. You might have a lot of buying, which is where institutional players come in. They need a lot of buying to implement a lot of selling. And this would kind of be that last line really before this thing really took off, and it's kind of clear air after that, an open field, until really you kind of start coming up into here, into the low 30s. So yeah, I don't know. It's interesting here. What I'm looking at, guys, on this 5 minute, let's take a peek at Bitcoin real quick. So y'all see Bitcoin came up and yep, Bitcoin came up, and do y'all see that? So far we're reacting off this supply from a level of imbalance, right? Do y'all know what I mean by that? A level of imbalance meaning an open price range, okay? From that level to that level. This is an open price range. There's no wicking or candles on either side. This is an open price range and imbalance in the market. This would be the supply level. And right now it's reacting from that. And this is the supply level, right? That created this move down. We came back into that supply level and there was still heavy selling, sell orders, people willing to sell again from the level that created this move. Give me a sec, guys. Alrighty, guys. Alrighty. Going crazy with my brush again. Going crazy with the brush. Because I didn't got a bunch of time today, guys. But, so yeah, that's what I'm looking at on Hype. Those are kind of the two that I'm mainly looking at right now. I'm not really delving into anything much else at the moment. But yeah, that's kind of my little running thesis at the moment, and just vibing a little bit. Don't know if anyone's in here. So what we're looking for, guys, for continuation of this Bitcoin little hedge long, is obviously this level to get broken. And if you zoom in, there's a little bit more imbalance if you start zooming in on some of these time levels and refining this zone. The 5 minute has a little bit more imbalance to it, and obviously these levels up here, which is kind of the original target for this. But there's nothing to say this can't reverse. If price were to come back and break this level right here, I would be pretty weary that the hedge along could be kaput and the short is going to take back over. Why is that? This is essentially our last level of imbalance with a level of supply, right? you have imbalance level of supply, and we still have a level right here that wasn't quite filled in. If we really refine the zone, we might be able to find some more down here. But that's getting, you know, real greedy. This, you know, already kind of tapped into it a little bit. Didn't quite get down there. Didn't quite get down there. So, you know, technically this could come all the way back down to entry and go, but I don't know about that. I don't know. I think if we get back down there, that's just not really a good look. You really just want to see this continuation. I think at most you would, like I said, you don't want to come back below this. You could, you know, maybe another re-entry right there, come back down here, continue it up, something like that. But other than that, it's just kind of waiting and seeing, guys. Like I said, if we get the continuation on the short that I would like, then we'd come back down here and tap into a little bit higher time frame level of demand. But on this mid time frames, really what you would like to see is this low starting to break. Really this low. This is the low. If you're not paying attention to the market, I mean, this low right here is good to be broken. If we zoom it in a little bit more, I'm gonna explain this. Get this dot out of here. You know, we keep zooming in. This is the low that created this high. We broke that, closed below it. Kept continuation. Breaking this low is good, but in actuality, guys, if we look at this price action right here, it's created a high, which then created a low. Okay, that high was never closed above, meaning this is its own range within a range. Okay, you'll see that this high created this low. Okay, we haven't gone below this low, and we have not closed above this high. We have swept the high, we have not closed below it. This is not signal continuation, this signals a denial, right? Heavy selling came in. Now I'm not worried about these wicks now. As long as we came up and closed above that level, then okay. This might be continuing higher. I don't need to see like another wick above a wick, above a wick, above a wick, whatever. This is the level. And like I said, this is a range within a range. Okay? Meaning that we can break this low, we can break this low, we can even break this low. And that is all just internal price action within this smaller range. Okay, even if we were to come and break this low, that doesn't signify, oh, we're definitely going down. It would be this low. Okay, that would be more of okay, now we're getting some type of shift here. But again, let's look here, guys. Dial it back a little bit. Dial it back a little bit. A little bit ski. We break this low. You want to see a good closure, 1. 2, you got to be very weary of a sweep. Why? We got this level right here. Just like we just talked about on hype, right? We just went over this on hype. Okay, we just talked about this. How this level could still get swept, tap into a level of supply and still revert. Similar situation with this, just in a different time frame and different context. You could still sweep this low. People think this is guaranteed to go down, and you tap into this level. We would have wanted to see this already filled, right? This come in and already utilize this demand level. Then we would have no levels of imbalance here, at least on this 15-minute time frame, and that would have a much better outlook should price start breaking these levels. There would be no level of supply or untapped supply to then rocket this price back up, right? But price could still sweep this low, the low that we really need to be broken, tap into this and continue. So that would take that would require some eyes on that. Okay. But guys, yeah, that's what I'm looking at. I'm not going to stick around too long today. Just kind of wanted to put out my thesis of what I'm looking at kind of on these lower time frames, and what I would like to see coming into a little bit higher of a time frame, kind of getting into those mid time frames, 4 hour type of look. And similar situation, guys, we break below this again, like we just talked about, there's no untapped levels of imbalance and demand that are really holding us up. It's not to say we can't come down here and revert. Price can do whatever it wants, right? Nothing's guaranteed, but it would not be a good look. Would not be a good look. And you could have potentially, you know, price coming lower down here until you got into some real levels. Oh, you got a little tiny ski right there. But I don't want to get too crazy into down the rabbit hole just yet. We got a lot of work to do over here. Got a lot of work to do over here. But that's it, guys. Oh man, I should have taken a little profit right there. Should have taken a little profit. Again, guys, I don't want to see on this lower time frame. I don't want to see this get broken. I would not like that. That would mean this, to me, this long could be over, and this is going to continue us lower. But not much more to say than that, guys. Just going to kind of watch it, see how it plays out. Just wanted to give my little view. If you have anything cool to add, throw it in the comments. Appreciate y'all. Blue out.